Greetings guitar players, my name's Jack Jennings, and in this video you're going to see part of a Zoom class that I was doing with a few students. I've started something called the Indian Classical Guitar Academy, where I just get together small groups and we go through all the details of the music. So enjoy the rest of this video and it'll just give you a little insight into how things work in my group sessions. So take care and I'll see you on another video. Okay, let's bring some attention to that. Knee, because you can build up that tension around knee. Because you're sort of holding off the sa. We're not playing high sa yet. So we want to sort of bring out the tension of the knee. See if we can hang around there for a while. So it's really nice to do. This is a subtle bend, but it really has a lot of character. So that's pa da ni, very small bend. Ni. And see if you can play the Chikari and pluck the string as it's in the bent position. Okay, and that's releasing. Ni, da, pa. So I'm releasing the bend. Ni, da, pa, ni. So by now, if I just play this, you can hear how that now has a lot of presence. Because you're building up that tension. Ni, da, pa, ni, and then da, sa. Okay? Da, ni, sa. And it's really great if you can do that bend from da, ni, sa. So I'm playing the you want to get the fingering correct here, so middle finger's playing that 16, da, and then ni with the ring finger at 17, and then you're bending from there. I've still got my index finger just backing me up, so my index finger is also on the G string, so I've just got 3 fingers giving me that stability. And then you're trying to tune that really in with the Chikaris. Sa. And by that point, you could explore above the sa, but we'll leave that for now. But you. And going above the sa, and then you'd start to do phrases which are. Phrases that cover a bigger range of the raag. You start to explore a bigger range of the raag. You start to just get a feel for the aesthetics of the raag, and because every note, the great thing about sargam, because every note is named like da, ni, you build a relationship with every note, and you know it by its name. It's called da or called ni, and they're short for da is short for daivat, and ni is short for nishad. So you can have longer names as well, which helps you to kind of feel like they're members of this musical family. But you get this to feel for different notes and the kind of effect they have, and what that raag, the way that they like to present themselves in that raag. But it's just feeling and appreciating the notes. You're trying to just to beautify the quality of that interval. So I'm not playing very, in the alap, you don't tend to play very sophisticated patterns. It's more about actually fairly simple patterns that are maybe circling around a particular note. And then it's really just the ornamentations. Like if I just showed is the individual notes I played, that could literally just be beginner guitar. That's like beginner guitar. You couldn't make it any simpler than that. But it's the ornamentations that I don't expect you guys to immediately get those ornamentations, because there's so many different ways that you could actually do that. Because you could hammer slide, or you could hammer bend, or you could slide and bend and slide, or there's so many different ways that you could do it, and it takes a while for your ear to recognize exactly what combination it could be. So Amlan, how are you getting on with that?
It was okay for the most part. I could follow your sequence of the notes. Good. My biggest difficulty is to hit the Chikari, and I don't know when to do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because that's down to interpretation as well. I mean, one lesson that I had with a really fantastic sitar player once in Varanasi, he's called Amanath Mishra. He was the teacher of my first teacher, and he's a pretty big name over there. But I sort of kept banging on his door for like 3 days in a row, and he kept sending me home saying, "Oh, I'm sorry, I've got family today," or "Oh, sorry, come back tomorrow, come back tomorrow." And it was one of those like things that happens in India where you're like constantly going to try and see a teacher, and he's like, "Oh, yeah, okay, go, come back tomorrow, come back tomorrow." And so for
perseverance.
Yeah, for like 3 days. And eventually I got to sit in front of him and play. And the only thing that he really critiqued, I was playing sitar, the only thing he really critiqued, he said, just don't play the Chikari so often in your alap, because I'd be sort of like, it's like filling it up with Chikari all the time. I don't know if it was that bad, but he said no, it's a lap. It should be like da chick da chick da chick sa chick, like just one. And so there's no written rule, there's no described rule, but you just get a sense for spaces, just a space in between the phrase.
I suppose it's like punctuation marks.
It's a little punctuation. Yeah, that's a very good way of putting it. And sometimes when I'm teaching, I might actually use it a bit more, because I'm kind of using it as an aid to keep everyone's ear tuned into that sa as well. So it's I think the reason why I used to do it a lot more often on the sitar is because it's kind of a crutch. It's kind of always there to kind of like test that you're in the right place. But aesthetically, it should be much more. It shouldn't be crowding the phrases too much. So you're kind of that kind of shifted it for me. So maybe that will help. John, how are you getting on with things?
I'm getting on okay. I feel like I honestly just haven't had a ton of time to devote to practicing like the set compositions and stuff. But it's
okay.
I don't know. I feel like my phrasing has been improving over the past, since we've been working together. So I'm grateful.
That's
for that.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's bound to filter through into the different things that you do. I mean, because I have a ton of stuff on my kind of hit list that I'm meaning to get around to practice, and sometimes you don't manage to. Well, actually, pretty much all the time, you never manage to get around to all the stuff that you want to practice. But yet there is a progression, because if you've chosen a particular field to work in, and you're giving yourself a sort of container, then development can really happen, because just in your mind you know that there's something that you are sort of building. So even if you're not managing to sort of do a bit of this and a bit of that, and fit in all these different things, you will notice that just having that focus, because I don't get much time to actually practice these days, because it's a bit complicated with my daughter at times. Just being a dad's kind of complicated anyway. And I spend so much time making videos of stuff that I already can play, or editing videos, or doing notation. So I find it very difficult to actually find time to like practice new stuff. But because I've got a clear direction of what I'm doing, I'm doing Indian classical music, the progress does happen because I've got that clear direction and kind of goal that I'm always moving towards.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I definitely feel like my playing has come a long way, just like since discovering your work this summer and being like, okay, cool, like I see the way I see this system for performing raga on electric guitars that's just a lot more interesting than how I was trying to approach it before. I just don't feel like I'm that much closer to being able to perform like rag kafi without looking at the tabs.
Sure, yeah. It takes quite a long time to put everything together into a performance, and there's many kind of breakthroughs and improvements that will happen in your playing before you might actually feel that you're fully ready to go there. So there's many steps which will actually feel very gratifying and like, wow, something's really shifted, I've really got better. But yet I know that there's still more to piece together. So don't worry too much about how close or far away that feels. For me it felt like it took a long time before I felt that I could do something spanning a whole recital. Took a long time to piece it all together. I've just started something called the Indian Classical Guitar Academy, and this is a group that I do with other students on Zoom. We get together in just groups of 4, so there's lots of time to give people feedback and to go through the details and look at how everyone's progressing. I've just started the first group with some students, and it's been getting off to a really, really good start. So that's something that I'm going to carry on doing and expand into more groups. So please get in touch if you'd like to join one of these future groups. There's only a few spaces available. So just jump on and send me an email if you'd like to find out about how to join that group, because it's proving to be a really good way for people to go a bit deeper into this style and get some feedback on their playing and then really move things forward. So looking forward to seeing more students on the Zoom sessions, and take care, and I'll see you on another video.